What's going on, guys? It's LadyB. I've got some more breakdown action for you coming from the LIC semifinals. We had Queen Walkers going up against Activit-E, and we have something that we have not seen in quite a while, but it doesn't come as a surprise. A cold-blooded ZapQuake LaLo. Stay tuned and take a look into why you're going to want to start bringing some Golems to your strat. We had the LIC semifinals this weekend, and it was a really great showing between two big powerhouse clans, Queen Walkers and Activit-E. And while originally I thought we were going to see some higher numbers, around 13 stars from each side, we saw a lot of great defense. But regardless, we saw some incredible attacks, some incredible showings, which we'll get to look through later in the video. But the one thing we want to highlight today is one of my favorite attacks, and that was the cold-blooded ZapQuake LaLo. Now, cold-blooded refers to bringing one golem. Why is it cold-blooded? I don't know. I don't know how it got the name, but we have a lot of different names and variations of styles of using golems, which we actually don't see often in 13 now. But now that it's super tanky, we've got that extra level that came up. I think we're going to see it a little bit more. And the reason why you would want to bring this is if you do need some extra tank coming in for a Sui opener, and that's exactly what we had Klaus do here. Now we're going to break it down in the video as it goes along so I can show you some of the little intricacies of why he's done this and why it works so incredibly well. So let's get into it. So the first thing with any Sui opener is deciding where you get the most amount of value. And it was very smart for Klaus where he decided to come in, but he knew he was going to need to get that tanking. And that's actually coming in and knocking out an entire huge chamber here, picking up massive value. But before going into that, we need to see some funneling set. We need to see the pathing moving along. And what I like about this is the elimination of the CC and some of the bows around to give the exact value needed to come in. And you'll see the next steps once we get through the Sui opener what happens. So we've got the ZapQuake that comes in, quickly knocking out the CC, knocking out those bows, and dealing a little bit of damage to some of the surrounding defenses here. Now we've got the loons to actually open up the pathing here. Those two loons dropped in to knock out the archer tower so we can get the king opening up the path for the RC, and then eventually for the golem and queen Sui entry here. So king taking out some of those outlying defenses and the structures so that the queen is not hung up on it. Her main objective should be pushing along with that golem inside this base. But before he can even get to that, we've got to see the RC come in and actually help take out some of these risky units. So she takes on that single IT that could potentially pose a threat, takes on the splash damage from that wizard tower and helps navigate this raid. So King's still doing some great work, but this is where you see the ice golem here actually sneaking in and doing that tanking for a lot of the defenses along the way. And this gives the queen the ability with just that golem alone to come in and knock out a huge quadrant. So with the Sui opener and the ZapQuake, we see just over 40% of the base taken down. So that is some massive value and well worth bringing in that golem rather than the ice golem. But this is where we have the blimp coming in. And because of what was created here, you can see this nice narrow path that ultimately is created from, I want to say about the 930 side of the base, wrapping around clockwise all the way down to 3 o'clock. And the blimp comes in to actually take on the town hall, which has very limited threat posed here other than the air sweeper, which did not get knocked down and one single IT, but we've got a nice early access into it, so not too much to worry about. And we actually get to see the sneaky goblins coming out and a hound, which does a little bit of tanking but serves even more importantly as some cleanup as it pops. So we have the pups around and some nice early cleanup that gets down and spread working through. So the loons sweep in on this, and this is where you can really see this limited pathing that's been created, very nice and narrowed out. The warden working right behind with those loons. Now, granted, we still have the king still up. Minions and pups are working on it, but we do get a little assist from what you can see in the scroll bar there, the headhunters that come in and make some nice, quick, easy work to ensure that cleanup goes nice and smooth. So easy pathing through the loons. Instead of looping it around on a narrow side, he spreads it across, but very smart to keep some additional loons for the outlying defenses. So this is almost like a surgical addition of loons to keep the pathing moving along, keep it focused. Now, with this warden ability, because the town hall was already taken down, which we often see in a lot of entries when the town hall is somewhere near the outskirts of the base, you can either take it out with a queen or a warden. You get huge value because it means your warden ability can be used coming through into some of that remaining heavy damage, including the scatter shots and the eagle. And you can see this eagle is on the very back end. So smart to use the warden ability here, but even more so is where we see these freezes and hastes placed. So we've got that freeze down right over the wizard tower here with a haste to sweep everything through and not wasting on that last freeze, not even risking trying to swag it. He drops it for the back end defenses, again, to ensure that the loons have safe passage, but this absolutely wrecked, and you can see record time on that one. So again, really smart value within that one because you decided to go in with the golem, which is going to provide you some heavier tanking when you're trying to get a deep push inside the base, where the ice golems, while they cost you less in housing space, they have their own place, but typically along the outskirts where you know you're not going to get too much value out of them, and you can at least cover a little bit of ground with the freeze. But I really like the addition of the golem for this particular one and the value that was created with just that Sui opener alone. But let's take a quick look into the rest of the war so you can see all the amazing attacks that came through, amazing attacks and defenses from both Queen Walkers and Activit-E. We got Diodon coming through with the very first attack. We'll spin for the next winner in just a little bit. I know you guys are, wait, let's do it now. Let's do it now before the attack was underway, and then we're just going to have one more to go. We're going to roll it. We're going to roll it. Juve coming in with the win. Now, Diodon kicking this war off and bringing in the ZapQuake LaLo. A little patience here before dropping in the ZapQuake, making sure he zoomed in. Anthony, thank you for the follow. You love that shirt, the Team B shirt? Now, there's other designs. I'll give you guys, whoever wins, I'll give you options. Mr. Hussein, thank you for the follow. So ZapQuake misses a queen on this one, gets the RC down. And what else do we have down? Scattershots down. Eagles down. CC is still up. So not too bad on the value here, especially because of the Sui entry. While breaking the queen axis to get to the enemy queen. So the queen didn't need to go down. It was the RC. This limits a lot of targeted pathing here, which is really good for the Lalo because we only have the one scatter shot. And which the RC actually might take on. I'm curious to see if the RC is going to come in. Nothing to tank for her, though. So she needed a big push. Queen takes out the enemy queen. Perfect directive. Knocks out an AD as well. Nope, RC coming from the other side to narrow out this pathing. This is going to be a direct push straight into the town hall, or towards the town hall. So my assumption is coming from the back end here, straight over the scatter shot so they can use the ability, and then the blimp sailing into the town hall section here. So the ability can be used earlier. Oof, RC doesn't get out the single. That's all right. So yeah, loons swarming in. The blimp will come sailing through for the town hall, past the warden aura. Sussy, thank you for the follow. There we go. Nice and underway. Freeze holds off the scatter long enough. Gets the loons in there. Doesn't need to force this ability right off the bat. So it can be used, pushing a little bit deeper into the base. Blimp's not going to get it. Ooh, Blimp gets sucked up in the tornado trap, getting hung up here and pushed around. Lenny, thank you for the follow, but does get back on course. Nice around here. Warden ability is going to be used, getting everything safely through the town hall. Because of that nice, easy push in with the scatter shot being the very first thing to come on, and how well that freeze was placed and timed, gets maximum value out of this warden ability. Look at all these loons left over. Minute 3 on the clock. Diodon coming in strong. Loons sweeping through that haste, through the splash damage. Easy peasy work here, even despite having this wizard tower up. It's a nice split to turn around from, an easy cleanup, especially with that baby drag coming through. Drag on one side of the base, baby drag on the other, and loons to help finish us off. So Diodon coming in strong. This is what I'm telling you guys that you have to watch for. We're guaranteed to see at very least 2 to 3 triples from each of these teams. I think it's going to be a very, very close one here. So a nice solid start for Activit-E. Shorts will just be in time for the winter. Unless an Aussie wins it, then it'll be just in time for the summer. Nice work. Nice work, Deodon. Clinical. Hi, Diz. What's going on? So great way to kick off this war. Let's see if we have time to actually watch this on a replay again before the next attack rolls through. So we'll see who Queen Walkers puts up on that chopping block to bring in the first attack to see if they can keep it tied up on star count. But it is an impressive start off point for Activit-E. Hi, Go All-Star. LadyB, how's chat doing? I think chat's good. Chat's good. We've got one more gold pass giveaway. One more gold pass giveaway. This is really smart thinking on this. I really do like the ZapQuake taking down the RC because she was deep enough into the base that the queen might not have been able to take her out, especially because the queen was very limited on health by the time she got through past that enemy queen. Knocks out the eagle, so limits a lot of nasty damage on that entry and narrows out the pathing. But that freeze, perfect to hold off the scatter shot and leave the warden ability coming in a little bit later through into the town hall. So it's Chukas to kick it off for Queen Walkers here and bringing in the Yeti smash. I'm sorry, the hybrid. This is where, you know, my brain's so wired to like be hyped up on coffee, and I don't think one cup was enough today. So Queen starting off the pathing here. We're going to see her double A or wall break. Curious to see if he's going to wrap this queen around into that town hall section of the base. Yeah, looking to go straight for the town hall. Limit that pathing. We do have the siege barracks that will likely come in. Honestly, I think the better pathing for the hybrid is to come in on the singles here. I think it would be a little bit too wide, but equally don't want to leave that eagle to the very end. Mary Ruiz, thank you for the follow. I personally like the... Ooh, Queen doesn't get where she should have gone. Ooh, this does not bode well. Queen does not get into that town hall section of the base. So this pathing has gone a little bit wrong for Chukas. Queen's going to unfortunately worry about dying out here. Can we see her redirect by forcing the hybrid? Which way is Chukas going to go? This is a tough one because that town hall needs to go down. Queen doesn't go for it though. So we'll spin for the next winner in just a little bit. So coming in on the narrow pathing here, but bigger problem is going to be ensuring that the town hall goes down. Now, because you're working with the miners with this hybrid, you don't have to worry about the town hall being activated. You just have to make sure you get the right pathing coming in. This is where we see a problem, is that the pathing was not created best for a hybrid. Hybrids really need some fairly narrowed out alignment to work through. So Pekka unfortunately taking a pretty big lead where the wizards are just too far behind. We won't see that full value there. And again, this is going to be a problem for shaping up, working everything inside this base. RC's there. Are we going to see the split going to the town hall? Miners need to work their way there. We've got a couple working through. Forces a warden ability to help them get through. RC delayed to ensure that that happens. Thank you for the follow. So still manages to do some decent work coming through considering how much went wrong on this one. But we are going to start seeing it fizzle out because we still have the eagle up to the very end of the raid and a scatter shot on the back end. RC holding on to the ability as long as possible. This is unfortunate because if he did pick up the value that the queen had intended to do, would have seen a much different attack. Riandins, thank you for the follow. RIP FPS. What's wrong with the FPS? No mid 70 on this one, 67%. So not as high as Chukas had hoped for, and that could put them in a very unfortunate position. More coffee, LadyB? Is it Starbucks today? No, no Starbucks. It's just my regular coffee. Regular coffee, just need a second cup because I've been up since 5 a.m. See what else I've missed in chat. So a lot of you guys here were rooting for the Queen Walkers win on this one. I think it was something like 78% in favor of Queen Walkers for the win. But as it stands right now, they've got a tough turnaround here. They're going to have to see some defenses, but we've got iPro coming in, and iPro has been doing some great work throughout this series. I mean, more times than not, when I've seen iPro, he's dropping in those trips. Joss, thank you for the follow. And bringing in the hybrid, trying to add a little insult to injury by picking up that triple, showing how it's done. You need to get up and get coffee. Hi, Norris. How are you? I know I'm ready for a second cup. I'm going to make some breakfast after stream and then head over to Home Depot. Home Depot on a Sunday on a holiday weekend. We'll see how that goes. So poisons up the CC, making nice, easy work. Queen's going to work along the outside of the space. We do have the wall break to get the queen access to work in, but easily she can actually kind of work along the outside edge if she wants. The wall break would serve to actually push her in to be able to reach that single IT, though, which she's going to need to do. Forces the ability, and we're seeing her get absolutely wrecked. We're going to need to see those freezes underway, but the queen takes a turn, doesn't actually walk in, so the hybrid's going to need to redirect, actually, and come in from the town hall side of the base. We've got the siege barracks down and set, ready to go. No healer swap on this one. It's a bit unfortunate because that queen could have picked up some nice value working into that section of the base. And really kind of redirected how the hybrid came through. So miners leading the way to the town hall here. Pekka unfortunately fizzled out. No taking for these wizards, but we do have the hogs already underway for the reinforcement, skirting along the outside of the edge here, which is going to keep the main portion of this hybrid moving nicely along inside the base. Moses Gill, thank you for the follow. But still, pathing is a little bit too spread out here for a hybrid, but the split does work reasonably well. And those delayed freezes give a little bit more leeway to get through the scatter shot, though we are going to see the scatter shot kind of ripping through this back end of hybrid. RC saving that ability for as long as possible, but she's got a tough final portion of this base to get through. Didn't get that ability off. Scatter shot wrecked her enough to knock her out. And iPro holding strong, Yuta holding strong on this defense. Now, iPro's going to have a nice percentage to keep themselves in the lead here. We're going to just about see that 80%. So it's enough to keep them in the lead on percentage, even if Queen Walkers does pick up the triple. But this is exactly what Queen Walkers wanted to see. They wanted to hold a defense and narrowly start pushing their way back up. I know, I need some coffee. I really do need some more coffee. The struggle's real. Struggle is real. So this is Queen Walker's opportunity to try and pull in a tie on stars and inch their way a little bit closer. But we will potentially see Queen Walker's just about 12% behind. Used to have a base a lot like this. Same beta queen charge entry. Problem was it got wrecked by Yeti smash. Really? Yeah. I mean, that queen, it was unfortunate to see that queen pull. If she had picked up what she was needed, this is the problem. You know, good bases are going to bait queen walk entries or are going to redirect them. And when that happens, it really wrecks your hybrid raids. Samson Skilly's OP. Nicely placed traps. Definitely do some solid work there. So we'll see if Queen Walkers can turn this around, get tied up on star count by picking up the trip. Who's ready for one more gold pass giveaway? We've got the final one to go, and then we're going to get into the sub only. You guys can enter to win if you are a sub. Hi, TT. Ooh, ooh, ooh. ZapQuake LaLo. So knocks out the CC and a couple of outlying defenses. Air sweepers are down too. So for this Sui entry here, we've got the king lining up the path. RC worked her way in, but didn't pick up a huge amount of value on this one. But the ice bomb's going to lead the way. queen working through. Is she going to take the bait? Is she going to walk inside the base? Yeah, she's got enough path to walk in. Barbarians helping to move this through. So queen's going to take on the town hall. Entire 6 o'clock corner of the base sectioned off here, which leads a nice path for the Lalo portion. What's actually really nice about this is it shapes up very similar to what you would see with the queen charge, because you're essentially gutting out the core with that lightning spell. But the way he brings it in is actually full force right through, spread out, not narrowed out like a hybrid, but just spread across the base here, taking on the defenses side by side. Blimp comes in to help power through the first scatter shot, freeze for the second. A nice push in. The haste is going to sweep it through, so he doesn't have to force his freeze again, but does it anyway, just to ensure that everything comes safely through. I think that freeze would have been better suited coming in for the wizard tower here, especially as we see things getting hung up. And this is the problem you see. The loons fizzle out. The freeze could have done much better job holding off that splash damage from the wizard tower here. And you can see they're taking on a beating not only from the wiz tower, but from the AD as well. Warden down, not enough loons to get through this. We still have 2 more, but again, not enough to get this done. A very nice try by Stadra, but Remio holding a strong defense on this one and continuing to keep Queen Walkers back. Hi, Scars. Yeah, Chaos was gifting out some subs this morning. So you'll have the chance to enter to win for the merch. And if you're wondering what the merch is, it's going to be your choice from the store. I'll give you more options for the winner. But I did add the shorts. We've got the shorts as an option now, which is kind of awesome. So going to end here, picking up just a little bit more percent. But 86, 87, 88 is all we're going to see on this one. 88% 2-star. So some merch options here. We've got the Team B shorts now added to the list. So exciting stuff. I wonder if a Stone Slammer would have been better suited, giving a little more tanking. Hi, Flurry. What's going on? So we've got 1 more gold pass to give away. You guys ready for it? Still have a lot of eligible users. Let me make sure that I screenshotted Juve. Hold on. So we had, let's see, we had Sherlock from Bye Forever Fam, Amy Nicole, Lixie, Juve, and we've got 1 more winner to go. And then we'll work on the sub only. Okay, Akram coming in. And bringing in the Queen Charge Lalo. No ZapQuake's here. Lining up the pathing from the 3 o'clock side. We've got a double layer wall break to get the Queen access working in towards a town hall, potentially. So RC doing the work along the outside edge. I'm curious to see how deep Akram's going to push his Queen in. Nice juncture. Wow. Yeah, if he gets his push in, if he could get a nice juncture break, I don't think that's going to happen. Likely going to weave the Queen in and out from the outside here. But the Queen could potentially push into the core, taking on scatter shots, which would be OP. But the Queen's going to take the bait. She's got to pull in. Oh my goodness. Okay. Forcing that King ability kind of helps save this, pushing it through. King trying to take down the Town Hall. He'll get it down. Queen dealing with the Hound. GG King. There we go. Queen's going to work on the outside of the base here, taking on the AD. So 2 ADs down. Town Hall's down. Still has the scatters to worry about. And what do we have for the enemy Queen? Some Skellies to help take her on, but we also have the RC, so there's going to have to be a dragon in that Stone Slammer. Queen going to continue pathing through. Is that Queen just out of range? Just out of range, so he'll need the Queen to actually beat through the wall to get through the scatter shot. Get that nice push in. It's a lot of effort, a lot of work, but she can do it, especially with hanging on to that ability, enough to get that scatter shot down. And the enemy Queen. Nice work, and we'll see maybe even more value coming through. She's going to take on the sweeper. Freezes up the other sweeper as he's heading in. Nice work from the Queen here. Absolutely epic. Not going to take down that AD, but she's done enough. Dragon coming through to help power through. Skellies did great work taking on the RC. Loon's getting a little hung up here, a little spread around, but ultimately getting into the core, but we still have that multi that hasn't gone down. Most of the main threat is gone, but the biggest problem is the multi in the core here. Ugh, these Loons, just not enough steam to get it done. So Gaku with a solid defense and keeping that percentage low here. Look at this. This is a little bit of a turnaround, and this is where Queen Walkers need to turn around and pick up a trip. Minions coming through for a little bit more support on the percent here. Now we won't quite see the 80% range, but we might see, what do you got going here? 1 minion, we will see in that mid 70 range. So 1 minion might just pick up that 75%. No, not a 3-star. The Zaloons unfortunately got hung up because of that air sweeper there, got pushed back, spread around, and not enough good pathing. As good as that queen charge was, it's unfortunate to see. So 74% there for Akram. And this is Queen Walker's chance to try and turn the tables here. Let's see if they can get it done and pick up the trip. Beginning was great, I agree. I love the queen charge. Okay, you guys ready for it? We're gonna do it? We're gonna spin it? Let's see, final winner for the gold pass. And it's Jim. Where are you, Jim? Jim getting the win for that gold pass. Okay, so we have our 5 winners, but we still have more giveaways to go. Plenty more giveaways to go. And let me get the next one set up, because if you are a sub, it means you're gonna have the chance to enter to win. And in doing that, you have to enter merch in the chat. Congrats, Jim. So 5 winners today. We usually do this every month. We usually do gold pass giveaways every month. Sometimes it's on Twitter, Instagram, or sometimes it's here in stream. I like to do it in stream. I feel it's a little bit more fun. So Gaku coming through and bringing in the hybrid. So if you want a chance to enter to win the merch for today, you have to be a sub and you have to enter merch in the chat. I'm gonna have to adjust this. And yes, this was the June sub giveaway because we missed it last month. So we'll do another one at the end of this month for July. So type merch in the chat if you want a chance to win. So Gaku charging through. Easy take on of the town hall. We've got another deep push coming in with that second layer wall break to push a queen just a little bit further to take on the scatter shot and the enemy queen. Now she is going to get fizzled out by that single ultimately. We do have a freeze to potentially hold it off so the queen can pick up as much value as possible. I like the early start to the miners as the king lines up the pathing along with the siege barracks to actually try and get in the way and take on that single. Freezes it up and the scatter shot to give the queen what she needs. Might have to force this ability maybe, but we have the hybrid in here so that the queen can carry on. Forces that ability to get through the Grand Warden Tower, and she's done some phenomenal work here and even takes on that back end single IT. Beautiful timing from Gaku on every part of execution here so far. Wizard still wrapping the corner here. We've got the additional reinforcement from the Hogs coming through from that siege barracks to finish up and overwhelm this base. That queen did some solid work here. With the P.E.K.K.A still leading, Wizards are going to actually round the corner here, help with the remainder of the cleanup on the outside of the base. RC still holding on to her ability, and this is easy sailing. Gaku just throwing down and saying, we're turning this around. And with that, they tie up on stars and turn around and take the lead on percentage. By a narrow percent, they were able to come back around, turn that around from that 67% 2-star that they had in the beginning, and now lead by 0.4%. 0.4%. GG.
Oh, yeah.
Ostrich, what's going on? Coming in with that Twitch Prime sub. So that means, Ostrich, you're going to have the opportunity to enter to win for the merch. And if you're not on the Discord server and you want to know more about the giveaways that we do, you can hop on my Discord server there. So 7 to 7, up by a fraction of percent. Not a bad position for Queen Walkers now. Is it best of 3? No, it's just a single war here to get to the finals, Kavi. Hi, Million Roses. So let's edit this. Edit com. Sub only. The sub only. So you have to enter merch in the chat. So we're going to give everyone the opportunity. We're going to give all the subs the opportunity to win. So to enter to win. Enter merch in the chat. There we go. So Fabian coming through for Activit-E. He's going to have to pick up the triple to try and keep their momentum moving. Though, depending on 2 stars that would roll in, could really shift the direction of this. There was an error. Oh. I'll try that again. Sub giveaway. So Warden leading the way for this Yeti smash. Bringing in the Witch. We've got a Witch that's likely going to work along the outside edge of the base along with the King to line up some nice funneling and pathing, keeping things moving along. Are we going to see the Witch actually work inside the base though? It's a question. We've got the Siege Barracks down. King's still going strong. Tanking for the Witch here. Everything working through nicely. Nope, the Witch is going to round the corner. Head down towards that 9 o'clock side of the base. Some nice narrow pathing for the Yeti smash, which is looking good. There we go. So sub giveaway in the chat. Enter merch if you want your chance to win. No, that wasn't a Nightbot fail. That was a me fail. I entered the wrong command. So double layer wall break gives great access weaving in and out of this base. Reinforcement of the hogs working alongside of the RC helps take on the Eagle and the back end of the space. Look at the Wizards coming through with a lot of power. Queen hanging on to that ability and going to need to use it here. Getting through the single IT is trying to hold on as long as possible. We still have a freeze. Queen still needs to force her ability. It was dropped ever so slightly late on that one. But again, with the RC coming through, do we have enough steam is going to be the question. It's hanging on to this Loon, but Loon's going to struggle a bit because we've got the AD on the back end. So bringing it in for the cannon to help knock it out so the RC doesn't take on too much heat. RC trying to weave her way in to get through, but we do have that freeze. One more freeze left to go. Has to get it down to hold up the single IT. Come on. Oh my goodness. But the RC goes for the cannon instead. And we've got the single that remains. So Fabian, try as he might, comes in with beautiful attack here, but we are going to see this fail out and likely as a 99% with that single IT that's going to remain right there smack in the middle of the base. A nice try by Fabian. So this means if we see a 2-star come through from Queen Walkers, we've got Activit-E back in the lead on percent. But if Queen Walkers come through and pick up the trip, they'll lead by a star. They'll be down on the percent. Oh, 98%. They'll be down on the percent. But they will lead on the star count. Someone's going to try and say that's a time fail. Where's Huss? Where's Huss? No, there was a fail. Those Wizards could never have taken on. We need Huss for this debate. The ugliest queen skin in the history? What was he running the you don't like the Clockwork King or Queen? Fail. Norse knows these discussions. So this war is as close as I told you it would be. We're going to be pretty tied up here. But the one thing is, I predicted 2 to 3 triples coming in from each side, and defenses have held really strong so far for both teams. Only 1 trip in for both sides so far. We still have Queen Walkers to come through with their 3rd attack or 4th attack. So we're definitely not going to see. I don't know. Are we going to see 3 triples coming in from Queen Walkers? Eritode, thank you for the follow. They should make a wizard troop that targets the eagle. Like, specifically. Like, he's the eagle wizard. Fail, fail, time fail arguments. I love those. Those are my favorite. It's gonna be my new YouTube series. We're gonna pop on fails. And it's gonna be called Fail, Fail, or Time Fail with LadyB. Here's the Tula, thank you for the follow. Okay, Klaus coming through for Queen Walkers. Let's see if he can get it done. Bringing in the ZapQuake LaLo. Zapping out the CC. Taking on a couple of the expos there in the core. Air Sweeper still survives, unfortunately. But that's not going to be the direction that the Lalo's coming in from. Actually, whichever direction he comes in from, the Lalo will be coming in behind from that Air Sweeper. Very likely. So King helping to open this pathing up here. Gonna push that Queen. Coming in to take on the Town Hall is my guess. That's my guess. She's got easy access to work in there. RC trying to help take on the single, so the Queen has some nice easy path coming through. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, no, no. The Queen's not gonna go for the Town Hall. Blimp's gonna go in to take it on. We've got a Golem. We've got a Golem doing the tanking here for the Queen. Normally we see ice golems, but if you really need some extra tank, you bring in the Golem. He's a little bit more costly, but he hangs on stronger. He doesn't freeze up, but then you get the Golemites to continue some of that tanking. So that double air wall break pushes the Queen deep into the base to help take on the scatter shot and the enemy Queen. Just enough power to potentially get through the Queen if the expo goes down quick enough. Queen's down. Nice work. And, oh, it doesn't get down the last sweeper. But like I said, it wasn't going to be an issue because Klaus was going to come in from the back end. Still would have been nice to continue that pathing moving along. Solid opener. So Blimp takes on the Town Hall. Lalo paths its way through. Very narrow pathing here. Nice sweep through. Still 9 loons to bring in from the outside edges. Some surgical loons to take on the outlying defenses. Minions are down and around for cleanup. We've got 1:04 on the clock here, so still a lot of time. But we still have this Eagle. But we've got 2 freezes to hold this off in a haste. Haste should come down to sweep through this Eagle portion. There we go. Making quick work. And this last freeze holds off the remainder of those defenses. Beautiful push in. So Klaus keeps his team going strong on this one and keeps that lead by 1 star. They're down. Are they down on percentage? No, they still have the percent lead. Still have that percent lead, holding strong on this one. Keeping that moving along. 6-fold. Incredible. Incredible there. Now, we don't often see the Golems in play, but now we finally get to see them. They've become tankier. We've had the update. It's level 10 Golems now. They're still costly, but that was definitely worth the value. Probably my favorite hit this war. Poppy Chulo, what's going on? Thank you for the follow. Again, that skin. I don't know, maybe they like it. This is like Mutka attacking. Mutka. I was thinking about him the other day. We haven't seen him in a while. I do miss him. He had some crazy raids. So, Activit-E down by 1 star. Best they can do right now is pick up the trip and hope for a big defense. But it is a 0.8 now. 0.8% lead here for Queen Walkers and the star lead. Mutka would always find these crazy CB Lalo. We don't get to see it, unfortunately. We don't get to see cold-blooded Lalos anymore. But it's nice that we're actually seeing that value within it. They're a lot tankier than the Ice Golems. They have a lot more hit points. So if you do need something to tank for quite a bit, that's what you're going to bring in. Vikings, thank you for the follow. So Remio finishing off with some more ZapQuake LaLo here, bringing in the Ice Golem, not the regular Golem. And zaps out the CC. What else do we have zapped out? Eagle's still alive. Queen's still alive. Do we have a scatter shot down at least? No, scatter shots are not down. So we're going to see if that was enough value. That Queen would have been nice to get in there. So King opening up the pathing here for the Queen to step in, take on the Town Hall. Wall breaks. Wait. Maybe not. Yes. Gets that wall break in to give the Queen access to the Town Hall. But I think the bigger question is she going to pull to the outside? RC and Ice Golem to help line up this pathing. RC definitely needs to take on the single IT to give the Queen what she needs. RC hung up on the King, though. Do we not have a Headhunter? No Headhunter here? A Headhunter is almost needed on this one. The short-lived life of an Ice Golem. Wizard trying to help take out that enemy King. Very patient through the Sui entry, but the RC dies out and doesn't get to the single. So this could pose a problem for the Queen, where she'll walk up the pathing to take on the single IT. Now, she still has a Town Hall reachable in this narrow chamber. Has to force the ability, but the question is, does she have enough steam to actually get through the Town Hall here? Wizard Tower focused on the archer. She's just out of range of it, and just enough steam to actually get that done and take out the Wizard Tower. Remy O, living up to that Remy OP name on that Sui opener. Again, very patient. My goodness. Calculated. Absolutely calculated on that one. Down to the last hit point. So Dragon comes through, knocking out the outside corner there, but doesn't get the RC down. So that Scattershot not necessarily picking up full value. RC is going to pose a problem here. Warden ability keeps a couple of the loons safely through, but they still need to get past the Scattershot. Freeze goes down to hold it off, but they're slow moving here and already taken on a lot of damage. Plus with the RC rolling through, going to pose more threats, and he knows. He knows. Really, Remio? Don't quit. He knows it's over. He rage quits because he knows he's not going to pick up that trip because the RC was going to pick them off one by one. So finishes it before it is even over. Ryfel, thank you for the follow. He knew that his team needed the trip to get it done. That was about the only way to try and do that and pick up a defense. Remy. So 11 stars for Activity. We'll see how Queen Walkers finishes up, if they pick up the trip or if it's just going to be the 12 stars in the end here. Sixfold calling Yuta choking on this one? What? Shh. You think he's going to pick up the 1 star? Stop. He knew it was over. He knew the raid was over. He knew it wasn't going to be the triple. But I never think that's a good idea, because what if a 1 star came in? What if a 1 star came in? Could you imagine? Remy standards are 3 or rage quit. You can see the pressure he puts on himself. The minions and pups weren't enough to take down the RC. And the RC would have gone around and knocked out those zones. We still had the single IT remaining, which was just gonna zap through what was left there. It wasn't a disconnect, it was a rage quit. Because you would have to force quit. A disconnect doesn't do that to you. So a disconnect would continue the raid going. Yuta bringing in Drag LaLo. It's like YOLOtron. A little YOLOtron action. So E-Drags lining up the pathing here. Stone Slimer coming in. Yeah. YOLOtron action underway. Yuta doing something we've been talking about we haven't seen in a while, like Electrons and YOLOtrons. Sui opener picking up some nice value. Look at the pathing he's creating on this one. Beautiful work. Bone's not down yet. Warden ability goes off. Still hasn't gotten the Town Hall down. Yuta very daring on this one. Z-Drags really need to do double time, taking on the Town Hall. They get the town hall down. So warden ability, very well spent, keeping them safely through. Now look how narrowed out the pathing is, and we still have the RC to work along the outside edge, taking on the splash damage from the wizard tower and trying to work through and knock out the scatter shot, which is the last remaining big threat here to the loons. But they're slowly getting picked off from the air bows. Nice push in from the opposite side with the loons trying to overwhelm the space. RC just gets that scatter knockdown. 2 more loons to come in for the back end AD, but they are getting massacred here. It'd be really nice to have a freeze here. This fizzles out, but what a beautiful attempt for this very last remaining hit. GG to Yuta. So 12 stars to Queen Walkers on this one, to Activit-E's 11. It was a great showing. Solid plans throughout, but equally solid defenses. 2 heroes to get, and he just doesn't want to use the new troop. Which one? I really think, I'm surprised that Remy didn't bring the headhunter on that, honestly, on his hit. I'm surprised he didn't bring the headhunter on his own hit. So minions picking up just a little bit more, but we're left at that 93%, 94% when this is done, maybe 95 if they can get the podium. No, not gonna happen. Ooh, snap, yeah. 95% on that one for Yuta. A nice try. When is the finals? Likely next week. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the following week, but I'll keep you posted. And you can follow LIC on their Twitter page. But if you want to know, because I'll almost certainly be streaming it, you can hop on my Discord server or follow me on social media.